I stared out of the aeroplane window. White, billowing clouds were rimmed with gold, reminding me of my cancelled wedding. My ring was back in the shop, and my wedding dress had pride of place on my Facebook fashion page, Rags to Riches, exclusive designs by Irini McGuire. That gorgeous gown was the most beautiful thing I had ever produced. The slinky, Gatsby-influenced dress of heavy white lace over cross-cut silver satin could have come straight out of a silent movie. A scooped off-the-shoulder neckline topped the body-hugging front, while a dangerously low-cut back flowed out into a long cathedral train. As I walked, the dress flowed like liquid mercury. Conscious that the congregation would be looking at the back more than the front, I had fastened the gown with 200 white pearls that ran from below my shoulder blades to the spill of the train's hemline. I slid my thumb across my fingertips, remembering the blisters and the pain, and with the last few pearls, the blood that I feared would stain my fabulous frock. My wounds had healed, but would my heart? Soon my wonderful wedding dress would be cherished by another, a bride-to-be with no notion of the blood, sweat, and tears that had gone into its creation. I had a massive price tag on the dress, mostly because I didn't want to sell it. An image of Miss Havisham came to mind, me, an old woman draped in cobwebs, still in my wedding gown, awaiting the man of my dreams. Mam's last words played on a loop in my mind. We had stood on my doorstep after a week of disgruntlement. Her suitcases were already in the airport cab. Divided by awkwardness, neither of us could find the right things to say. She reached behind her neck and unclasped her little gold crucifix. "I'd like you to have this." She fastened it around my neck. "It's not worth anything, only 9 carat, but it's my confirmation cross from Uncle Peter and Auntie Agnes, and I value it highly." She smiled sadly, then gave me a hug. I recalled the toilet soap scent of her skin, and how badly I didn't want her to go. "I'm very proud of you, Irini." She placed her hand on my cheek for a second. "I've left that piece of pottery for your father to work on. I'm getting nowhere with the symbols, and it'll give him something to do. Make sure he doesn't lose it, will you?" I nodded. "I wish you could stay. There's so many things I want to ask you, but we never seem able to talk. I'm sorry I've been, well, you know." "It's been a difficult week for us all. Let's put it behind us, and when I come back, we can start afresh." She was coming back? My heart lifted. We would have another chance to sort things out. I would be nicer. Before I could stop myself, I took her in my arms and squeezed hard. "I'm so glad you're coming back. Honestly, I wanted it to work so badly. I'm truly sorry, Mum." She stepped out of my embrace, took me by the shoulders and sighed. The tomato soup we had for lunch still fresh on her breath. Her green eyes, sad for a moment, reflected my own heartbreak. "Nothing to be sorry about. It's not your fault, Irini. I'm the one who should apologise, landing on you the way we did. I wish with all my heart things had been different, but I can't help who I am. It's impossible for me to fall into the devoted wife and parent role after all these years. There are reasons, things I have to put right, and I can't explain them yet, but I will soon." She bit her lip, glanced at the sky, and I sensed she was calling on God for guidance. "I tell you, Irini, but part of me is just too ashamed. It's like a penance. I'll put these things right once and for all, then I'll explain everything. I know it's hard, but I respect you and your father enough not to pretend." Shivering, she rubbed her arms, her slim figure stiff with tension. "It's so cold here." She glanced at the sky again and turned her mouth down. Yet I sensed her deep excitement at returning to Greece. "I do love you, Irini. You must always believe that because it's the truth. I know I haven't been much of a mother." She tilted her head to one side and placed her hand on my cheek again. "It's as if I've no control over my destiny. I had to marry your father. I had to save his life. And I had to keep you safe, no matter what the cost." What was she saying? I found myself lost in the enormity of her words and before I could string a question together, Mam shook her head and shrugged, appearing as perplexed as I felt.